Hello everyone, welcome to DM Car Reviews. Today we have a very special car on our channel. It's the 2023 Volkswagen Arteon SEL. I want to thank Hanover Volkswagen in Pennsylvania, Hanover, for providing this car for a nice test drive. And this is a special car for me because I actually owned a 2019 Volkswagen Arteon myself. I got it right when it came out. I had an APR Stage 1 tune on it, turbo inlet pipe, intake, and I've definitely had many experiences to share about that car. It was mostly very good, but there were a few things that I really wanted Volkswagen to change about the vehicle, and let's find out today if Volkswagen has listened to its customers and made those changes. So for the first part of the video, I'm going to tell you my overall impressions about the car, how it drives, what is different, what's good, what I would change, and compare it to the older generation. And then after that, we'll just do a quiet POV test drive, city, highway, do some 0 to 60 tests with Draggy. I'm really curious to see how this car performs from idle, with launch control, and we will see what the numbers are. So now let's go look inside. This is the top trim. It comes with these nice leather seats. They smell really good. Sort of remind me of the ones that the ones that were in the Volvo XC90 back in 2017. That smell very similar to those seats. We got the Harman Kardon audio, sunroof, jumping in the back. This is where it gets really good. I'm 6'2". The seat is adjusted for me, and look at the amount of space I have. Literally, it's insane. There's so much space. We're closing the door, and all these materials. This really reminds you of Audi. Let's say Audi A5 would be the closest resemblance to this car. Even the seat architecture. We got our cup holders here, our glove box here in the seat, our vents. There is good headroom. It's not a lot. It's actually less headroom than in a Civic, the new Civic that I reviewed yesterday. But beside that, the seats are very supportive, comfortable. There's lots of shoulder room, so an adult will comfortably fit here, and then a second adult and possibly a child in the middle. Let's open the trunk and look at the back. The camera hides back there. We have this nice big trunk with all our accessories, our first aid kit. Good trunk. So you can put your suitcases, your stuff, and go on a nice road trip. This right here is the 4Motion version, all-wheel drive. So let's look under the hood then, see what's up there. So here you will find the brand new Golf R engine. This is different from what the car had last year. This one actually outputs 300 horsepower right from the factory stock, and I think that's a very conservative figure. The previous Arteon, on the other hand, only gave you 268 horsepower, so this is a very good improvement. The one gripe that I always had about the Arteon was the gearbox. And I'm not saying it was a bad gearbox. It was a good gearbox. It was an Aisin 8-speed, the one that you would find in per se Camry V6. But it did have some setbacks. So one major setback was how it was geared in the low speeds. You know, you could be driving 20 miles an hour, floor of the car and there would be this big delay. It would have a huge delay. And if you were standing at a light, floored it, you'd press the gas all the way down, there'd be a second of thinking, the car would start to roll, and then it would accelerate. So the 0 to 60 times, they weren't bad necessarily for its weight and power, but with an upgraded transmission like a ZF8 or a DSG, these times would get significantly better. So when the car was stock, my 2019, I would run about 6.5 seconds 0 to 60 from brake boost and around 6.8, 6.9 without boosting. And I ran the quarter mile. My best time was 14.3 at 99 miles an hour. But that is on a good cold day. On a warmer day, you'd be looking like 97, 96 miles an hour on the trap speed. But most people don't buy an Arteon to race. They just don't. They buy it to enjoy the comfortable ride and not have to pay the Audi price tag. So right off the bat, this is a very smooth experience. The car is eating the road nicely and we're just coasting like this. There is good feedback in the center, so there's immediate response from the steering wheel. At the same time, you can hold it with one hand and not have to worry about it. The seats are supportive, wide, comfortable. I would even say I like them more than the A5, to be honest. These seats feel more comfortable than the A5. You got plenty of support. We got seat heaters right here. And this car comes with all these cool bells and whistles. We got navigation, which is projected here. We can change colors of the dashboard, different views of the speedometer. I think that's really cool. So if we go to car, settings, and Volkswagen does not allow you to change any settings on the go. Whereas in, for example, a BMW, you can just use your iDrive and change anything you like when moving. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? You ultimately decide. I would personally leave the basic menu items to be open to adjustments while you're driving, well, per se under 60 or 50, because some things are very crucial that you may need to adjust, and you won't have to pull over for them. As far as road noise, it's very minimal. I would say it's about on par with the A5. So very quiet cabin, you can't hear much of the engine, and so far we've been driving pretty smoothly. We have an adjustable armrest which we can move back and forth. We've got our cup holders here, and the new Arteon also comes with the auto hold. People were constantly complaining that this car doesn't have auto hold, so Volkswagen heard them, which is good. We have our start stop system. So ambient lighting, that's the one that I wanted to do. So let's go and see this area. Ambient lighting, color depends on the driving mode selection. Select an area. Let's select this area and go. Okay, font. Okay, what about here? Footwell. So it depends on the driving mode. I would usually keep my car in comfort. It's the best of both worlds. It gives you a smoother ride. When you're just slightly cruising, you don't hear the engine at all. It's just, the sound is non-existent. And I feel like Volkswagen has done some good work on making the car quieter than it was before. Because in my 2019 Arteon, you could hear the engine much more than here. The steering wheel also changed. So before you would have this thin Jetta-like steering wheel that would look pretty cheap if you ask me. But this one looks nice, it's thick, it's easy to hold, it's very soft, luxurious, just as good as in an Audi. A few things that I would change / add in this car, I would definitely include a heads-up display. That could be very, very useful for us. Because BMW if you go for a 3 Series, for the same price, you are getting a car with more features. You are getting a heads-up display, a much bigger screen, and it's a premium luxury brand. So if this car had a heads-up display, that would have been great. Also, for 2023, I would have suggested that they make the screen a little bit bigger than it is now. Again, not a big problem, still a great screen. I can see everything very well. The shifter is also back from that time era. I'd say this looks exactly like the shifter that you find in a Volkswagen Passat from 2012, 2013. They could have made it more like Audi style. But there's got to be a difference between Audi and Volkswagen. If they make everything like an Audi, well, who will buy an Audi? So we have our sport mode here. And let's see how the car responds. So we're going 40 miles an hour and we want to floor it. There's instant grunt, and I'm actually getting punched into the seat really strongly. So there's some good pickup in this car. I don't know what the numbers are going to look like, but I think will be good. We got a heated steering wheel, nice and quiet wipers, our sunroof. The black headliner also matches really nicely with the interior of the car. Just like one whole thing, it blends in really well. This was also changed in the restyle, like all this design and material, plastic. The panels, everything is soft touch here too. This is soft touch as well, and it's quilted, very nice. This is soft touch. This is, well, this is also sort of soft touch. It is harder and stiffer than the top part, but still very good, very enjoyable. So one more thing that I've noticed is the car doesn't really like to go into the lowest gear. It wants to just stay around where it is, because if you're going 50 and you just floor it, there we go, it finally kicked down. But as far as my comparison to the 8-speed, this is a big improvement regardless. It's a huge improvement. The response is better, the shifts are much faster, and they're crisper. Whereas in the 8-speed it was really lackluster and sluggish for what it was. Well, those are my initial impressions. Let's go for a quiet drive, enjoy the views. We're in Pennsylvania, so it's quite nice here in the countryside. Please hit that like button and subscribe. There will be lots more content coming in, and enjoy the drive.
30, 60, 30,